Good morning, Center 2. Today we're going to be learning about present perfect tense. Now, this is like a level up from what we've already learned. Let's see what we've already learned. We've already learned simple present tense, present participle tense, simple past tense, past continuous tense, future tenses. So today we're learning perfect present tense or present perfect tense. Now, what is present perfect tense? So present perfect tense connects the present with the past. It connects something that's happening now with something that has already happened. It connects our current present with the past, something that's already happened. How does it do this? Well, let's take a look at some examples. In order for us to understand it, we need to compare it with the past tense. So our first example here is showing us something that happened in the past. I lived in that house for years. Now this is in the past tense. This is telling us that I used to live in that house. I no longer live there. I'm not living there today in this present moment. I lived in that house for years. That's over with. That's done. That is in the past. Now let's take a look at an example with the present perfect tense. Again, it's connecting the past with the present. It's connecting the both of them together. So let's take a look at this example. I have lived in this house for years. What is that saying? It's saying that I have lived in this house for years. I've lived here many years ago, maybe 5 years ago, and I'm still living here today in this present moment. So it's connecting something that happened in the past with the present. That's why they call it the present perfect tense. It already happened and it's still happening now in this present moment. Now this is just one way that we can use the present perfect tense, and we're going to be taking it into little steps like the staircase strategy, learning bits by bits every day until we learn a lot of other rules, because this is, like I said, a level up. It has a lot of different rules that goes along with using the present perfect tense. But let's just review this again. It connects the present with the past. For example, I have lived in this house for years. I am still living here today, and I have lived in it for the past 5 years. Connecting both of them together in the present perfect tense. It's different from the past tense because the past tense means that it already happened. It's no longer happening right now. So let's look at how we're going to be using it. Are we going to use have or has? Which form should we use and when should we use it? Well, let's take a look at the formula. We will use the subject, which would be I, you, we, they, he, she, it. What we're talking about with the form of have or has plus our verb in the past, which means the past tense of the verb. This could be the past tense or the past participle tense. Today we're going to be using the past tense. So let's look at some examples. Whenever we're using the pronouns I, you, we, or they, we will use have. Whenever we're using nouns that refer to I, you, we, or they, we will use have. When we're using the pronouns he, she, and it, we will use has. If we're referring to he, she, or it by a proper noun, we will still use has. Let's look at the examples. I, the pronoun I, we will use have. I have lived, the verb in the past. I have lived in this house for years, which means I have lived here for years and I'm still living here now, today, in the present, in this moment. So we use I, have, and the past tense verb lived in this house for years when we're using our sentence. Our subject is I. We're using this version, have, and the past tense verb lived in this house for years. Now, I could also use you have lived in this house for years, or we have lived in this house for years, or they have lived in this house for years. So I can use any of these pronouns. Now, let's look at some examples of when we're using proper nouns. So proper noun is a specific person, place, animal, thing, or idea. And we have two proper nouns here, which are two of our classmates. We have Nathan and Varen, and we want to say that they've made breakfast. So we will say Nathan and Varen have made breakfast. We will use have. Why will we use have? Because Nathan and Varen would be replaced by the pronoun they. So it's like I'm saying they have made breakfast. So Nathan and Varen refers to the pronoun they, so I need to use have. Nathan and Varen have made breakfast. This means that they made breakfast maybe 5-10 minutes ago, and the breakfast is here in front of our face now and ready to eat. Continuing into the current moment, Nathan and Varen have made breakfast. That is the simple or present perfect tense, the present perfect tense. Now let's look at the other examples when we're using has. So he, she, or it. He has lost his lunch money. We're using the subject he, have or has, and the verb in the past tense, lost. So once we're using he, she, or it, or we're referring to he, she, and it, we need to use has. He has lost his lunch money, which means he lost the lunch money. He lost it maybe 5-10 minutes ago, a few moments ago, and he's looking for it in the present moment. He has lost his lunch money. He lost it, and he's still looking for it in this moment. It's still lost right now in this present moment now that we're in. So he has lost his lunch money. Jamily, which is a proper noun, but we're referring to the pronoun she. If we're going to replace this, it will be she, so we will use has. Jamily has cooked breakfast, so we will use has here. Jamily has cooked breakfast, which means she cooked breakfast and is here in this present moment. The breakfast is right here and we're about to begin to eat it, right? So Jamily has cooked breakfast. So today you're going to be practicing this. You will need your exercises in English. We're doing language arts, exercises in English, and you're going to be practicing this on page 81. Page 81. 81. Now let's read the notes on that page. A verb in the present perfect tense tells about an action that happened at some indefinite time in the past, or an action that started in the past and continues into the present. The present perfect tense is formed with has or have and the past participle of the verb. And there are some examples there for you to look at. Melinda and her family have lived in New York since she was 3. She has sailed her toy boat in Central Park. Now, where it has the letter A, it says for each example, write the present perfect tense of the verb shown at the left. Some of the verbs are irregular, and we've already done irregular past tense verbs, so we should know how to do that.